Excellent, you are live.
Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of Just Sports, and also welcome to your Hometown Sears studio. My name is Les Martin, along with our executive producer, Honey B.
And I'm Brent Allen.
And we got a little tale to tell everybody. We have no phones.
Yep, some technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties once again on the phone. It just absolutely just kills me.
Very disappointing.
It is very disappointing. We had something, or you had something planned extremely well tonight, correct?
Yeah, something, to include the callers at home would have been nice, but we'll have to catch it next time, I guess.
Yeah, so folks, if you're trying to call in, we apologize. We have no phone in the studio, so we cannot get your calls. So we do apologize. We will have that fixed by Thursday. Hopefully, it will be fixed by Thursday, and we'll be good to go. Before we get started, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what we're going to talk about. First and foremost, we're going to talk about UT basketball. Is it on the up or is it on the down? Brent says it's on the down. Also, we're going to talk about Conzo Martin as far as the fact that a statement that he made that he was not concerned about the security of his job, which, being in his situation, I don't know if I would be concerned either, seeing how he's got one more year left on his contract. And of course, we'll get into more of that once we get through all of our sponsors. We'll also talk about Campbell County Cougar baseball as well as Lady Cougar basketball. We got some breaking news this evening on the Lady Cougar basketball program. Also, the Major League Baseball adopts the rule to halt the collisions at home plate. Also, we'll talk about the rundown of NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt Jr. won the Daytona 500, as well as we'll talk a little bit about the National Football League NFL Combines, and also we'll give you a rundown on the medals for all of the Olympics on the top 3 countries.
Is that still going on?
No, it's over.
Oh, okay.
It's over. We just wanted to give everybody a rundown of how it finished up. So before we get started, I want to say thank you to, first and foremost, Sears. Your hometown Sears store in the Food City Shopping Center. Their phone number is 562-7700. Go down and see Robert and all the folks at Sears. They have anything that you need inside or outside of your home. You hear me, Nance? Nance, that's where you need to buy your appliances. It's your hometown Sears store in the Food City Shopping Center.
There you go.
Also, their phone number is 562-7700. Inside, outside, it doesn't really matter. They've got you covered. Whether you need a new lawnmower, weed whacker, or how about some new appliances, over-the-range microwave, it doesn't really matter. Tools for the guys and gals, because there is some gals. I heard on the radio today, a lady said, I can not only fix your apple pie, but I can change your brakes.
Oh, there you go.
I hope she washes her hands first. But also, we want to say thank you to Sears for sure. We want to say thank you to Bird Screen Printing, downtown La Follette beside the Birch Memorial Bridge. I've seen Mr. Larry Birds today. He's still working hard at it. It's that time. Baseball season's upon us.
Oh, yeah.
Uniforms, windbreaker like I have on, the sign that you see behind us, it is fantastic. He does great work. Go down and see Larry, Kobe, and Don. Their phone number is 562-3044. Also, we want to say thank you to All-Star Awards, 720 Jacksboro Pike for all of your trophy needs, whether it be trophies, plaques, it doesn't really matter. David can take care of you. All-Star Awards, their phone number is 562-6761. Also, we want to say thank you to Charlie's Pizza. For 38 long years, they've been doing pizza right. They not only do pizza today, but now they do a lot of other things, such as, how about the chopped steak with grilled onions and fries? Or how about the chicken breast with mushrooms on top with melted mozzarella cheese? Or how about the chicken Philly or the Philly cheesesteak? Folks, it doesn't really matter what you're hungry for. They've got what you need.
That's right. Salads.
They have the best salad bar east of the Mississippi. That's a little big, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's
it's really good.
It's always fresh. It's always good.
And it's nice and cold. I hate going to this place where you go get a salad and you go up to the salad bar and the lettuce is not crisp. It's warm and wilted. I don't like that.
No wilted lettuce.
No wilted lettuce on this bar, folks.
That's right.
Their phone number for call-in orders, if you'd like to have a call-in order, is 562-0116. Or if you'd like to take your family down and sit down and just chew the fat, look at the pizza, or look at the folks and chew the pizza.
That's the way, yeah.
Charlie's Pizza, folks. That's the place to be. Now, here we go. I've got some controversial subjects tonight. I hope you're with me on this.
I'm interested in where you're going to go with, especially one.
Which one are you interested in?
Well, I mean, the NASCAR thing's kind of got me concerned. Let's just put it that way.
And why?
I think the fix is in.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that? Let me ask you a question.
Well, now you asked me last week
Right.
if I thought this Austin Dillon kid was the real deal, and I said that I think he is, and I thought that he would actually place well. Which, as it turns out, I don't even know where he placed. Do you? I assume you do, right?
Yeah, he placed.
Did he finish?
Yeah, he finished, but he got in a wreck.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, a lot of people did, but there's just too much of a coincidence there.
That Dale Jr. won?
Daytona, number 3 cars on the pole.
Yeah.
And something just doesn't make sense.
And Austin Dillon was on the pole. Dale Jr. won.
Right. Just a little bit too hinky for me.
So let me ask you a question. If it's a situation of that, and you spent, say you're one of the guys that owns a car in NASCAR, and you've got all these overhead, you've got all these employees, you've got all this money that you're paying out, are you okay with the fix being on? I mean, somebody has to know besides the guy who's winning the race. Somebody else has to say, hey, slow down because we need this guy to win the race.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, I know that it sounds a little bit far-fetched. But when you look at it from this point of view, and we talked about this with the NFL owners, imagine talking to the car owners, calling them all into an auditorium and say, listen, guys, here's the deal. Our numbers are down. We're not filling seats like we used to. We're losing business. We're losing money. We've got to inject some controversy, or we got to get something feel good. Everybody wants Dale Jr. to win. They have for years, and he just hasn't won. I mean, he's been good but not great. And this is the kind of thing that you pull together. You get all that focus on the number 3, all the nostalgia, all the people thinking about Dale Sr. What a great driver he was, and suddenly, lo and behold, his son wins his first Daytona 500.
Well, that's his second Daytona 500.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, there you go.
He won the first one in 2004.
Right. Well, it was so long ago. That's what I'm saying. And nobody cares
Correct.
anymore. He's not lived up to the billing. And
I agree. I agree on that.
Yeah.
See, this is what I like. I like for us to have discussions.
Yeah.
Disagreements. This is what makes sports talk radio.
Ain't it though?
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Well, you know what? I enjoyed the race. I went to church Sunday night and got home, and it hadn't started yet. So my son and I stayed up and finished watching the race. I don't have a problem with Dale Jr. winning. I hate the fact that Tony Stewart had fuel pickup trouble and Kevin Harvick got in a crash, and the Stewart-Haas machines, because I'm a Stewart-Haas fan,
right.
I guess, Tony Stewart fan. So with that being said, it's one of those situations to where it just so happened to be Dale Jr. to win. I would much rather see Dale Jr. win as Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson.
Don't go jumping on Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. They didn't do anything. They're great drivers.
Well, they're Hendrick cars as well as Junior, but and they are great drivers. But I kind of wanted Kurt Busch to win. I kind of wanted some of these guys that don't normally win on Sunday to win the race.
That's one of the tough things about NASCAR is, 43 cars?
Yes.
So you got 43 cars. It's not like you're pulling for a team like, Team A or Team B, and one of them's going to win.
Right.
You're looking at 43 cars, and any one of them could pull it off.
Exactly.
Trevor Bayne proved that. So, that in itself, you got to be a true fan to stick with it and really pull for one guy. That's why I have trouble pulling for just one guy. I have a few that I like to see win.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess everybody's different.
Well, see, I've got one guy that I want to see win. That's Tony Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, if Tony gets out of the race or something happens, and if he's not in position to win, then I'll start looking at the next favorite and so on and so forth. And
Right.
I believe I'm one of those guys that if you've got a favorite driver, you can't have a second favorite. You just want to see somebody else win. And Daytona is one of those tracks, along with Talladega, that a lot of those no names can win because it's such an open. You know, it's so open, and they run a restrictor plate, and they can draft off of just about anybody, and as long as they put themselves in position with the last few laps left to go, they've got just as big a chance as
Yeah,
anybody.
it's all about timing. As long as they stay out of trouble and they can cruise around at the back until right at the end and watch everybody else wreck, if they can pull through it, they can win.
And I'll tell you something else too, folks, real quick before we go any further. We've got a ton of stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. And I'm sorry about the phones. We do not have phones here tonight in the studio. It just so happened we came in and I don't know. The technical difficulties is the only thing I can say.
Well, you know, I can still throw that question out there for the viewers or callers, and they can be thinking about it for the next show, because it took me some thinking. I had to really start digging around
Right.
to come up with it. You want to go ahead and throw it out there?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you, if you want to chime in tonight, if you have a Facebook login or Facebook handle account, whatever you call it, you can befriend us at Just Sports Brent Less, or if you already have befriended us or are our friend, then you can send us a message, a comment, or a question at Just Sports Brent Less. So go ahead and throw the question out there. What's your got?
The question is, what was your personal favorite moment in sports as far as you? If you played sports as a child or in high school or even in college, if there was one defining moment or one particular play or something like that, or beating a certain team, for instance, anything that really was the one thing that you that stands out in your mind, that's number one, and it's a two-part question. And number two, what's your favorite professional? For instance, the United States hockey team beating Russia in 1984 or whatever it was. That's one of those things that's etched in my mind forever. You know, that was really a really big deal and had so much more meaning than that. So if you can think of your own personal plus professional.
Yeah, I would think mine would be the fact that when I was 13, I kicked 4 field goals barefooted in Little League, about 30 yards.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, I thought that's matter of fact. My mom, before she passed away, still had the newspaper clipping of that happening.
Yeah,
So
that's good stuff. I've got a lot of newspaper clippings, and I had a lot of. I mean, I thought about it a lot, like which sport, really. I really excelled more at baseball, but I liked football better. I enjoyed football more.
yeah, I can see that the anger.
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't have a very good team, and it's not as much fun when you're on the losing end.
He played for Clinton, folks.
That's true, but.
They were better than Campbell County. Though.
That's true. We were undefeated against Campbell County, so but that's not the case anymore, thank goodness. But I think that I had an all-star game that would probably be the second place. A friend of the family, actually showed me a little trick, and I was a really good hitter already, but he showed me a little trick. He was a softball player. You know the traveling softball teams. He played for Solway Hardware back when they were like number one in the country. I mean, they had these tournaments, and all they did was hit home runs. They still do it. What's it called? The big
Smoky Mountain.
Yeah. Classic.
Yes.
Yeah, they were really good at that. And he showed me a little softball trick, and I got up to bat 4 times, hit 3 home runs and a ground door double. Hit the top of the fence. So in my 4 up to bat or at bats, 3 home runs and a ground door double.
Really.
Yeah. Just because of one trick, and I wasn't even swinging the bat hard. But that wasn't my favorite moment. My favorite moment was playing against Farragut my freshman season. I was a linebacker. They were already beating us 48-0, I believe, or somewhere in that area. They really killed us. But had them on the 1 yard line, 4th and 1. I was playing middle linebacker, and they had a really good running back who went on to play for Georgia Tech. I can't remember his name, but at that point, we just had that moment and said, look, this is it. We're putting our foot down. Of course, they still stepped on us again afterwards, but for that moment, we were able to. We jumped at the same time. He was coming over the line. I was coming over the line. We actually hit directly head to head. Just a terrible hit. It was one of us didn't get hurt. I lost an earpiece, never found it. When we hit the ground, both of us went backwards, and it stopped. He did not cross the line. We were both knocked a little silly, but to me, getting up and walking back, shaking off the cobwebs, and the crowd went crazy. All 17 of them, maybe 18. I'm not sure. We were at Farragut, so there wasn't very many people there. But that's probably the one thing that I enjoyed the most, and that's what I've tried to pass on to my kids about it's the little things. It's not necessarily all the wins or losses. It's the personal wins on the field that the ones that you really remember.
Yeah, because it's the losses were more times than the wins.
Yeah, and plus,
and you had to pick out the good stuff. You had to pick out those good memories in between those losses.
The final score was 66-6, just for the record.
Wow. Also, we are on Twitter.
That's right.
At One Just Sports. We're on Twitter. Did I say that right?
You did.
Twitter.
So don't be scared.
Don't be scared to send us a tweet.
That's right. If we can figure out how to operate our machinery, we'll take care of it.
Yes, we will. Also, we want to talk about the Lady Cougar basketball. I got word late this evening from Coach Ryan Browning. He has officially resigned as the head basketball coach of the Campbell County Cougars. It's official. He is no longer, he will step down. I spoke with him briefly, and I said, any particular reason why? Is it something that you want to concentrate on as far as baseball? And he said, no. He said, Les, it's really not that. He said, the team that they're going to have next year is a good transition team. It's going to be a good team. So whoever comes in, it's going to be a good transition for the coach that's going to be coming in. And we don't know who that's going to be at this point, or at least I don't. Some other folks may have some ideas. But he has officially resigned. He said his kids was doing some different things, and they were involved in some different things. Mm-hmm. And let's face it, for the last last year, he did basketball and baseball, and then he right back out of baseball, right back into basketball. Now he's right back out of basketball this year and right into baseball. So I'm sure it's taken a wear and tear on himself.
I agree.
For sure. So
at least this past year was a great year, and I agree with them. Next year's returning team should be a contender after what they did this year. So that's certainly something to look forward to, and whoever takes over that position will have a nice little head start.
Oh, absolutely. So it's congratulations to and good luck to Coach Brennan on whatever he chooses to do going forward. I'm sure he's going to be tied up a lot with basketball. Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about that. But it's he said he had a great group of parents. He said it wasn't because it was anything negative or anything like that. He had a
lot on his plate. That's a lot.
He had a lot of good things to say about the whole situation. So, I want to talk about this for just a second as well, if I can get to it from here. Folks, we do not have phones tonight. I do apologize. If you would like to join any part of the conversation, you can send a tweet to @OneJustSports, or you can join us on Facebook at Just Sports Brent Les. And I got some information today that nobody else is probably talking about, and this is the controversial subject that I said that we would talk about tonight. Although it's 20 minutes after 9 already, but it's one of those situations that. Was you going to say something, by the way?
Oh no, I was just going to. I have got something to fill in if you were waiting on that to load.
Oh, okay. We'll fill in.
Well, I was just going to talk about I was going to transition from the Lady Cougars basketball to the Lady Cougars softball. We're not on here to promote any particular, all sports,
Right.
all Campbell County sports. And I would like to ask folks at home if you have any means to help out, any donations or any work that you could do to help out with the field. It's pretty. I don't want to say sad because Coach Monger is doing a great job of getting the girls what they need and working hard on the field. We're going to go down Saturday and help out and get some stuff painted. But there's really no support whatsoever from the school, and I'm probably some people may be offended by that, but I don't care. It's true. They get very little. They get treated as if they're not really part of one of the sports, and it's true that they didn't have a good year last year. But you know what? If you want to build a good program, you got to have the facilities. You got to offer kids, give them something to look forward to.
Yeah.
And like I said, Coach Munger is doing a great job getting new uniforms and things. But it's all been done. She has to do it herself. It's all about, well, not just her, but her and the girls and the parents. I'd really like to see somebody step up and help. I can't afford to personally, or I would. If I had the extra money, then I certainly would. But they need a lot of things, and you can feel free if you have something out there to offer. Let us know here. I'll contact her and let her know, and anything would be appreciated. If nothing else, come out and support them. Clap for them. That'd be great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you can't do anything as far as financial,
Mm-hmm.
at least show up and put some seats in the bleachers.
That's right. Those girls have been working hard, and again, the coach has done a great job of keeping them in the weight room. Working on pitching and hitting them. They don't have any facilities like the boys baseball. They don't have an indoor facility to do anything. So when you've got bad weather, you just got bad weather, and they don't get to practice. And there's a lot of things in the future that she would like to do. And again, I don't want to be on a soapbox here, but I think it's unfair that at certain sports get all the money or get everything done that they want done, and then others don't. So
I think it's like that in college as well. I think, just to be perfectly honest with you, the way that the athletic department divvies out the money is football gets the majority of it, as we all know. For example, the University of Tennessee. And there's so much goes to the basketball, and then so much goes to the lady vols, and then the lady vols softball, and then the men's baseball. And
that's true, but they're building the lady vols softball is having a new facility being built even as we speak.
Right.
So they certainly don't forget about them and just tell them, good luck, girls. Go out and get your own clothes and go out and get your own uniforms and your own equipment and so forth.
Right. I agree with that.
So it'd be nice to have a little help, and again, that's not the people's fault. It's not the coach's fault. I won't point fingers. You can put two and two together as to who's responsible for that. So we'll leave it at that.
Well, and talking about a little bit of Campbell County sports, the Cougar baseball team. I went up and watched them practice today. I will go back up Thursday and watch them practice some more. Of course, they've got indoor hitting tomorrow, I believe, is what Coach Browning told me this evening. And then, of course, Thursday, providing that the weather is good, Thursday they'll be outside throwing some, doing some, they did some scrimmaging and things like that this evening.
Well, what kind of a feel did you get? What did you?
It's kind of tough to get a feel for the interleague. When I say interleague, I mean it was the Campbell County Cougars scrimmaging one another or playing a so-called game,
right?
But I know that the situation is going to be good, and I don't want to really get into that a whole lot until after the break because we got about 5 minutes. But the good thing about the Campbell County Cougar baseball team is Coach Browning has got an experienced team.
Yeah,
I think there's 3 or 4 seniors on the team. So when those 3 or 4 seniors after this year leave, he's still going to have some good experience coming back for next year as well. So it's one of those situations. It's you kind of hope that everything turns out good and the Campbell County Cougar baseball team can play up to their billing. up to their experience. Now, as far as talent, looking at what we have, I think the talent level is good. Do I think that we're on the level of some of the Knoxville teams? No, by no means. Not taking away from anything from the kids, but those kids in Knoxville, they've got it going on just about year round.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even from the Little League on up, and it's starting to filter in. It's finally starting to filter in. There's some Little League teams around here that are doing the travel ball and year-round stuff, and that's good. It eventually will pay dividends, and we'll be able to see that come to fruition when it's all said and done. But in the meantime, we're still a little behind the curve.
Yeah, and I guess since we've still got probably another 4 or 5 minutes before the break, I'll go into the fact that we've got Ben Bostic. Andrew Evans will probably divvy up the playing time at first base. You got Jacob Mundy, it's going to be at second base. Tate McGee, it's going to be shortstop. Probably Joe Williams, possibly at third base. We're also going to have Brady Ork, Logan Ork. Those two young men. Also, we'll have Max Ferris, which is Bo Ferris's younger brother. For pitching, we're going to have Andrew Evans. He's going to pitch some. Tate McGee's going to pitch some. Tucker Kane's going to pitch some. Ben Bostic's going to pitch some. So we've got some talent there at the level, the high school level of baseball. There's no doubt about it. Now, can they play with the Knoxville teams? Yeah. Last year they had Hardin Valley by a score of 4-2 late in the 5th inning, and they lost the game. So they can compete. There's no doubt about it. And, the ones that they lost last year was Bo Ferris, which was a catcher, and Hunter Scott, which was a pitcher. That's the two that I know of that I'm accustomed to knowing pretty well. But the rest of these kids that he's got there that I've seen tonight, and not to mention all those other freshmen and all those other sophomores that's playing, that I really didn't know their names yet.
Yeah, and getting a huge amount of experience at a young age. I mean, a lot of the teams, like you were talking about, some of the other district teams, for instance, they're pretty senior-laden teams. I mean, when they field a team, a lot of them are juniors and seniors. Most are juniors and seniors.
Right.
Occasionally, you'll have a sophomore, make it that's just unusually good to make it out there on the field. So the fact that last year we had 3 seniors, and I think 2 of them were starters, full-time starters. I could be wrong about that. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings if they are all 3. I just can't recall. But that leaves several positions open that were not seniors, and we did have a lot of sophomores and juniors playing last year, which is going to help out this year.
Well, exactly. And that's the excitement that I like tonight when I seen. I seen some kids put the bat on the ball. Seen some kids make some great plays, but at the same time, I seen some kids that whiffed at the ball that probably should have hit the ball.
Yeah.
And I seen some kids make some mistakes. And Coach Browning said it best: don't compound the first mistake by making the second mistake.
Yeah.
If you're going to make one mistake, don't follow it up by a second mistake by throwing the ball away.
Right.
And that's pretty much where this team is at. It's one of those situations is if you get a cut, put a Band-Aid on it. You know what? You're good to go. Don't keep picking at it and get it infected, and then next thing you know, you lose your wrist.
That's a good way to put it.
Exactly. Don't continue to make those mistakes. And I think with Coach Browning and Coach Miracle, I think that it's going to be a different situation, especially as the deeper they get into district play. I think they can play with a lot of the teams in the district. They're going to start out with 3 tough games. They're going to start out with Powell, Central, and Oak Ridge, I believe, in that order as well. I talked to a spectator today up there at the field, and he said, well, I think that we can take that Central. I think we can take the Central. I said, yeah, last year, if you're talking about Powell, Central, and Oak Ridge, you're talking about 0-3 start. Now you have an opportunity because of the experience that you have back from last year. You've got an opportunity to take at least 2 of those 3 games. I believe that they can take 2 of the first 3 games. And that's just my opinion. Now, when I go up Thursday and can see more of what they've got to offer and see what else Coach Brown and Coach Miracle does with the Campbell County Cougar baseball team, then it's going to be one of those situations to where, you can tell a little bit more about it. Saturday, the Campbell County Cougar baseball team will play at Halls. At Halls. The first game is at 10 o'clock. The second game is at 11:40, I believe, 11:30, 11:40. The third game is at 3 o'clock. Depending on the weather, I don't know what the weather's supposed to be. It may be a little chilly. Go out there and follow the Cougars and support them. It's their play day as of March 1st. The middle school play day is March 8th at the Campbell County High School, I believe it is, if I'm not mistaken. And I may be wrong, so don't quote me on that. I'll get some more information by Thursday night when we go on the air. But this Cougar baseball team certainly needs your support, and that's one of those situations to where you need to garnish towards that. So,
and the other thing is with both baseball and softball, it's not an extremely long, drawn out thing, and you've got pretty much excitement. I mean, it's action packed. Something has to happen. Somebody has to strike out. Somebody has to make a big hit. Somebody has to. Every time somebody's up to bat, big things can happen.
Sure.
And it's exciting. It's good atmosphere, and everybody needs support.
Yep. Folks, we're going to step away for a short commercial break. We certainly appreciate you listening to the first half, and you're listening to Just Sports,
WLAF Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Tuesday night edition of Just Sports. My name is Les Martin, along with Brent Allen. We certainly appreciate you taking an hour out of your day to join us here on AM 1450, as well as 1450WLAF.com, also on WLAF Channel 12 television. So, with that being said, before I get to the controversial subject, and I say controversial subject because it is. It's one of those situations that we talked about a couple of different times on the show.
Okay.
And you know where I stand on this. But before we get to that, I want to talk about the Olympics. The Olympics, they're over. And the top three countries that finished with the most medals in this order are Russia, the United States, and Norway. Now, Russia had 33 total medals. USA had 28. Norway had 26. It goes as follows. Russia had 13 gold, 11 silver, and 9 bronze. United States had 9 gold, 7 silver, and 12 bronze. And Norway had 11 gold, 5 silver, and 10 bronze. Now, here's the thing. There was an American that married a Russian lady. Yes, an American man married this Russian lady, and instead of him, and I disagree with this, and this is not the controversy, by the way. It only gets better, folks. But this whole ordeal with him marrying the Russian bride and then going to the Olympics for Russia instead of America.
In what sport?
I don't know. I stopped listening after they said that.
Yeah, I don't see how that's possible. I mean, he can't take on Russian citizenship just by marrying a woman from Russia. That doesn't.
Well, apparently she took on American citizenship. I think he should have played in the Olympic Games for America.
I agree.
But he won gold.
Well,
2 gold.
Well, that is bad. And oddly enough, there was the controversy with the Russian judges.
Yep.
On the figure skating. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder what was going on. They happened to be held in Russia, and Russia happened to. And I don't recall in the past what the numbers were. Yep. Norway, you can pretty much bet it's going to do well because it's snowing there all the time for the most part. So that's the that's not unexpected. And of course, Russia has quite a bit of weather like that as well. But I don't recall them being so good in the past.
Well, here's the deal. I want to talk about the Clowney and Dre Archer. Clowney run a 4.48 40, and of course after they did some adjusting, they adjusted it to 4.53. Now Dre Archer almost run a record-breaking 40 at a 4.26 out of Kent State. Titans will have the the Texans will have the number one pick. If you're the Texans, do you take Clowney? Or are you afraid of him taking plays off? Because he certainly took some plays off, and that was a concern of these NFL coaches as well, him taking plays off.
I don't know. I'm just not that impressed with Clowney. I mean, 4.53 is impressive. Don't get me wrong, especially if the initial was 4.48, and if they do it like I understand, they'll have 3 lasers, for instance, and they'll take the average. So in other words, if his arm breaks the barrier, that stops that clock, and then his foot, whatever comes through at all those times, it stops them just milliseconds apart, and then it'll average that, and that's what the score is. So either way, that's blistering fast for a guy his size. It's blistering fast for pretty much anybody, really. But
he slimmed down also from 274 to 266.
Well, it didn't look like it. I mean, he looked pretty big to me from what I was seeing. But the guy that ran the 4.26, and I think the record is 4.21, right?
I think somewhere in that neighborhood. Yes.
Didn't Barry Sanders have a 4.26 as well?
Chris Johnson.
Well, Barry Sanders was 4.2 something.
Was he?
4.2.
See, I don't remember that.
4.28. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I'd have to look at my roster really tough. I mean, really strongly if I'm Texas and decide how important. I mean, how important is that position? I
mean, let's face it.
They've got Watt.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They got J.J. Watt. They've got the linebacker that's going to be coming back from the injury, and I forget his name slips my mind. Oh goodness gracious, I don't remember. I know his name as well as I know my own, but
yeah, I recall who you're talking about. He's out for the season.
Yeah,
he'll be back. So
I mean, why would you want to take a chance on taking somebody like Clowney that may take some time, some plays off?
But just imagine
if he's on the opposite side of J.J. Watt.
Well, no, imagine, if he's on the other side of the line. I mean, if they're on opposing ends coming in, that's going to be tough for anybody to deal with. I mean, if you can get the guy to play, having him on one side and J.J. Watt on the other, that'd be a pretty tough row to hoe there.
Yes, it would. Speaking of the NFL, we're going to stay in the NFL.
Okay.
Okay, you heard about Michael Sam.
I've heard of that man, yes.
Yeah, well, you know what? Michael Sam comes out and he says he's gay.
Right.
Big whooped. I really don't care what he is. Period. But Jack Bertman, which is a Washington lobbyist who announced from his firm on Monday that he would block gays from the NFL. Now, nobody's talking about this, folks. No sports show has decided to take this on but us.
Well, I mean, that sounds to me like the armies or the militaries don't ask, don't tell. I mean, you can't block somebody if they don't tell you,
Well, here's the thing, though. You're right, but here's the thing. If there's going to be, trust me, Jason Collins came out from the NBA, so now all of a sudden we've got Michael Sam, and I think Michael Sam only did that to try to improve his draft stock, just to be honest with you, to bring all focus and attention on him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that would be much of a help. I think it's a hindrance. I think a lot of people are going to shy away from him just because of the locker room problems that it may cause. Before we get too far past, according to Big Earl, the Texans should trade down and take Johnny Football. What do you think about that?
I like the pick. I really do. I like the pick. I hate to say it, but I like the pick.
Yeah,
I mean, the kid can play the game.
He can, and here's the other thing. After seeing his statistics, physical statistics, he's bigger than I thought he was, and I think he measured in at 6 foot and 3/4 inches, right at 6'1".
Exactly.
I think that's tall enough, I don't think I don't think everybody has to be 6'6" anymore to be. And I think Russell Wilson proved that at 5'9" or whatever.
5'11".
He's not 5'11". There's no way.
I'm just telling you what
his running backs are taller than him. I mean, he's.
I know, I understand, but
But
I'm
anyway,
just telling you, on the roster,
they actually
he's
said
5'11".
yeah, they've got him listed at 5'11". I'd like to see his stats coming out of college when they actually measure him,
Right.
and see what it was, because they were saying that he's closer to 5'9" than he is to 5'11". But maybe he's 5'9" and a half. I don't know.
Drew Brees is another one. Drew Brees is 6 foot.
Yeah, and again, I question whether he's actually 6 foot. Just like the what's the guy that threw the Hail Mary pass?
Doug Flutie.
Doug Flutie. Same thing. 5'9", 5'10" is what they had, or what they say he really is. And it looks like it when they're all standing out there next. Of course, everybody looks 5'9" next to somebody that's 6'9".
Right.
But the point is, I think that he can actually do it, and I hate to admit it because I don't like the guy and I don't like anything about it. But here's one great thing, and this is one thing I have to agree with Big Earl. The fact is, he played at Texas A&M. He's got a huge following in Texas already.
Right.
You take him to Texas or to the Houston or the Texans. I was Houston Oilers. I was all over the place on that.
Yeah,
anyway, I think that you get a lot of fannies in the seats, and you're selling all kinds of merchandise. And unfortunately, I think the guy can do the job. And you give him a defense with J.J. Watt and the linebacker that we can't think of. They had a tough defense. Then you certainly may be onto something.
And you got a running game with Aaron.
Not Aaron. Yeah, he played for Tennessee. Arian Foster. And I wonder if he's not kind of over his hump. Yeah, I think so. We can't remember names. According to Big Earl, he can run the 10 in 4.2. The 10-yard dash in 4.2. And he also has a Karnak. And of course, if he called in, I'll do it the way he normally does it. Everybody remembers Karnak the Great, right?
No.
From Johnny Carson.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, it always goes. He gives the answer, then he opens the envelope and has the question. And this is Karnak the Great, a la Big Earl tonight. The answer is his parents, his kids, Stacy, and Charlie's Pizza. Any idea?
What is? I don't know.
Name 6 things Greg Brackett loved more than life itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree. Absolutely.
Good one, Big Earl.
Yes, absolutely, a very good one. And getting back to this whole ordeal with Michael Sams, this Jack Bertman is a Washington lobbyist who announced his plans Monday that he wants to stop the gays from the NFL. Now, here's how he says he's going to do it. He is going to start and try to get a bill passed that would mandate the National Football League have separate showers and changing facilities for the heterosexual male and the gay athlete, or the heterosexual athlete and the gay athlete, whatever.
Well, that's not banning them. Did I miss something? He's saying, say that again. Maybe
but if the National Football League says, no, we're not going to have, that's going to cost a lot of money. So what are you going to do? If you're an owner of a National Football League, are you going to go out and spend millions of dollars on making another shower, another changing facility, or are you just not going to?
No, millions of dollars. No, you turn a closet into a shower, and I mean that's not a problem. Or for that matter, honestly, it's what is the? I mean, I've never understood the purpose in having open showers to begin with. What is the purpose? You've got to. I mean, you've been inside of these locker rooms in the military. We've been there. They've got shower heads sticking out everywhere, but nothing, no stall between or anything like that, or just a wall for a little bit of privacy. How much would it be to put those in, and what's the purpose? Why do you need to be right next to another man showering? It doesn't make
Well, here's the thing. I would have a problem with showering in some place with somebody that came out and said they were funny like that.
Well, that's
I'm just going to be honest with you.
What have you done with my thing here?
I don't know. I think you keep hitting it.
We're getting a little cranked up.
Yeah, we're getting fired up.
Well, the thing is, I think that if that's the case, just put a wall up between the guys. I mean, they're not going to be peeking, or not. I mean, they're men. They're going to do their thing. But there's no point in having open shower bays. It's just. This is 2014 now. I mean,
yeah, but they have open showers at schools now. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? I mean, they had open showers when I went to school.
They did, and again, it's to me it's pointless. It would be different if you had one giant shower head and everybody had to somehow get under it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what
I mean,
you're
if that
saying.
was the case, you'd have separate shower heads. So why not put a wall up? You're saving, and I'm talking about the same kind of little stall wall that's only a half wall, basically, like you would in the stalls and bathrooms. Seems like
Yeah.
an easy fix to me.
Yep, he said that the bill would only focus on the National Football League because that's the big enchilada in American sports right now. While the lobbyist wouldn't reveal the members of Congress who supported the bill, as specific language had not even been drafted, he did say that almost all shared something in common. They were all Republicans worried about a Tea Party challenge. So, there you go. That was my big controversy. And
Well, that's the first I'd heard of it. So you did a heck of a job hunting that down.
And I'm not sure if anybody else is going to talk about it tomorrow, but so be it if that's the case. Now, let's talk about University of Tennessee basketball.
I got one more before we go.
Go ahead.
Before we go on to that, another
Go ahead.
good question sent by Big Earl. In your opinion, and you'll know what he's talking about, how much money did Russell Wilson make for Johnny Football?
Oh, Russell Wilson is going to make millions for Johnny Football.
Exactly, because of his size and the fact that he could win the Super Bowl. Bam! He's taken that idea or that thought that you have to be 6'6", 240 pounds, and have the rocket arm and all that. You don't have
Right.
to have that. You can do it with your brains and your foot or your feet and sharp good passing ability. And your line, and I mean the entire offense is involved, and that's what it's all about. So I agree with Big Earl. I think it's going to make a big difference for Manziel.
Yeah, I think it will as well. But I'm going to tell you something else too. Russell Wilson doesn't make a whole lot of money
No,
as an NFL quarterback.
he will.
He will. Now he will, because you know what? He came in, this was his second year in the league. He won the Super Bowl. He played extremely well. Although he did not win the MVP award, he still played extremely well. So,
Well, we've seen in the past that the quarterback doesn't have to be the MVP for a championship team. Again, I have to refer back to 1998 when right after we lost our star quarterback, and everybody was worried about how are we going to win games without Peyton Manning, and we went 13-0.
Right.
So it's all about the team when it comes to that.
I agree. I did get a confirmation from Coach Miracle. They play March 8th at Campbell County High School at 10 a.m. versus Gibbs, and 6 p.m. against North Middle, Lenoir City. The games will be 10, 12, 2, 4, and 6, Gibbs, Scott County, Oneida, Lenoir City, and Campbell County. March 1st, we play 10 a.m. at Halls. This is the high school boys now. March 1st, we play Halls at 10 o'clock, 11:40 Sevier County, and 3 o'clock Sequoia. And, of course, the first announcement that I made March the 8th, that is at 10 o'clock, that is a middle school baseball team. So, with that being said, I will be back up there Thursday because it's baseball time, and, I really need to get to know those kids and see how,
Big Earl's on fire tonight. I wish we had the telephone hooked up.
I know. Me too. I just seen that come across the screen of my phone, and I had this nigger. I don't know exactly what it said, but anyway. UT basketball. And we're going to move right along, folks, but UT basketball is one of those situations. You said, when I asked the question earlier, is it up or down, you went like this.
Yeah, I did.
I also said, if Conzo Martin's up or down, you went like this.
I did.
They are 16-11. They're 7-7 in the Southeastern Conference. This is a team that was supposed to be up in the top 3 this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've got some talent. Although it's inconsistent talent, they have some talent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I heard someone say briefly about the fact that maybe because of Robert Hubbs, he was out. He's a 5-star, and he was supposed to bring 10 points and about 8 boards. can you really say that Robert Hubbs is going to make that much of a difference for Conzo Martin? I mean, he has no excuses.
Well, we thought he was going. I certainly thought. I mean, the way they were talking about him, I expected more out of him than what I've seen.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, that's the problem. I don't know what the problem is. I think that's why everybody's a little fed up. And as far as I'm concerned, and prior to the year starting, most of your experts agreed, that Tennessee had a lot of talent. Has a lot of talent on this team. I mean, last year, how many times did we say if Maimon was back, if Maimon wasn't hurt, we would have won that game. We had the other big man down low. Well, he's back. Guess
Right.
what? He's back, and he's not doing very well. Yeah, he's had some good games, but just a lack of consistent 3-point shooters. Defensively, giving up some easy stuff. I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't know what the fix is. I just know that I miss BP. I'd like to see him back. And it's starting to get some traction. I don't know if you've been reading the national news. Even ESPN's starting to talk about the fact that they mentioned today that when Butch Jones, when Bruce Pearl is referring to Tennessee, he often says we.
Yeah.
Still to this day. So that in itself could be a Freudian slip. Maybe that's because he knows of what's to come.
Well, I see here on Facebook, fan interest is near zero. Boring basketball. Cannot defeat teams with their 4 and 5 star players, with our D2 recruits and 3-star mid-major players. Hubbs being out does not make dull basketball exciting. So, with that being said, it's one of those situations to where they're absolutely right.
I agree. That hit the nail on the head.
It is the excitement of basketball is near zero for the University of Tennessee.
It is, and I really truly believe that basketball is one of those sports that the crowd can make a difference. I mean, can really make a difference, and I think that again, when Pat Summitt's out there coaching, the place is rocking. You know, when Bruce Pearl's out there coaching, the place is rocking.
Well, sure it is.
We could be down 6 against Kentucky, and nobody is even the least bit worried about losing.
Correct.
We know that he's got the play, he's got the plan. To get those 6 points back and make a quick run. I mean, it doesn't always happen, but it's there, and that excitement's there. And all that crowd energy from the crowd is feeding into those guys, and you just don't have it,
It's if Conzo Martin makes the NCAA tournament, is he still fired after the year?
If I'm if I'm the AD, yeah, he's gone. I mean, he's gone. Love you. Here's your $1.7 million or whatever the buyout is, and have a nice day. And turn around and do whatever you have to get Bruce Pearl back. But is that going to happen? I don't know.
Probably not.
2 words. Resurrect the basketball team, Johnny Majors.
Can do it all.
That's right. A coach is a coach, right, Big Earl? I mean, he can coach anybody.
Well, he can at least stand over on the bench and say, attack, attack, attack.
Hey, right now I'd like to see us doing some attacking,
Well, here's the thing. Here's my honest opinion. I think that Tennessee wins out, I think they have a shot to go to the NCAA tournament. Do I think they'll do any good once they get there? No, probably not. It's inconsistent play has been for the University of Tennessee all year. It will continue not only through these next 4 games, but if they end up making the NCAA tournament, it will also continue in the tournament. If they make the NIT, it will continue there as well. I think a lot of it's got to do with the fact the way Conzo Martin handles the team, the way he coaches the team. Does the man know basketball? Absolutely. There's no doubt about it that he knows basketball. If he didn't know basketball, he wouldn't have had a Division I job to begin with, or took the Tennessee job after leaving Purdue and playing for Purdue for as long as he did. He certainly knows basketball. Is he the right man for the University of Tennessee? No, I don't think that's the case whatsoever. It's one of those situations to where you try to bring in Big Ten basketball in the Southeastern Conference. Trust me, it does not work. Although they brought Texas A&M in and Missouri, and they run a high-powered, potent offense in the football program, It was changes that the Southeastern Conference made. They played big boy football. Can Conzo Martin coach big boy basketball? No, he can't. It's been proven that he can't with a 16-11 record overall and 7-7 in the Southeastern Conference. It's one of those situations to where the sooner that Conzo Martin is gone, the better off the University of Tennessee basketball program will be.
I agree. He has the knowledge, like you said. He has the experience as a player. He's got experience. His resume doesn't look too bad. What he doesn't have is personality and fire. And somebody. I saw a tweet or something. I don't know if it was one of the players. Somebody said, "Come on, coach, at least yell at the ref occasionally," or something along those lines.
Right.
And that's what that to me, that's what it comes down to. He just doesn't have. I mean, even his commercials on TV are boring. Have you seen that? I mean, when he's talking about WPLT, yeah, he's just really a dry guy. And he may be a lot of laughs, when he's not in front of a camera. I don't know, but maybe the camera causes him to get real serious. I don't know. But he's just a boring man.
It's also got another message is Tennessee is a place where our basketball coach needs to be a promoter, which I agree.
Yeah,
he's not a promoter. I mean, if Conzo Martin come and told me my house was on fire, I would sit there because
the way he says it, you probably would think, it's not really on fire. It's
your house is on
smoldering
fire.
a little. Yeah, it's just a little warm in there. Bruce Pearl comes in and you're grabbing the pictures and
you're going
the possessions and getting out. Yeah.
Also, they say that with a personality, they need to be a promoter with a personality. When we have one, we'll fill the arena. When we do not, we are in the con zone.
Amen. I agree, and I think that can reference back to Butch Jones as well. He's shown that he's a promoter as well. And
yeah.
Look what it's done already.
Exactly. Wow. Here has an hour. We've got a minute left, or thereabouts a minute left, and you're over there hunting and pecking.
That's right.
Folks, if you don't know it, we are part duck. When it comes to topping, we hunt and peck. Plain and simple.
That's right.
So, but that's all right. We get her done. And with that being said, an hour has come and gone without the phones. We've rocked on, as always.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us on AM side of the dial of 1450 as well as WLAF, 1450WLAF.com, also on WLAF channel 12. And for our ever-loving, so-patient producer, Honeybee, my name is Les Martin.
I'm Brent Allen. God bless and go Cougars.
WLAF Sports Network.